Fasten your chin strap and put your pads on. Get a grip on the bat, here comes a fastball. We ain't going one and done, we're here to last long. This the top of the standards, get ready to blast off. Alright, let's do this. Hut hut! Every Sunday afternoon, big sports fanatics coming out your speakers like a piston running with magic. Game time status good to go is automatic. Ready for the blowouts and the instant classics. Calling all the teachers, all the fathers and the mothers. Calling all the kids, all the sisters and the brothers. Dynamic high schoolers in the game like no other preseason. Game 7s, hey, y'all know we got it covered. From the finals to the Super Bowl to the World Series to the Stanley Cup final. Over here we spit it clearly. Andrew Hale and Jotham Israel coming with the hottest topics. Hey, you know what's up with sports. People wanting it, we got it. Yeah, get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Yo, get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Come on. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Yo, get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Come on.
Yeah, top of the standards. That's what it's about, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, season 2 is here, baby. Yes, Jotham Israel and Andrew Hale, we're back and better than ever. Yes, we got a ton of sports to talk about, as always. And yes, I can rap. I produced the song, I wrote the lyrics, and I rapped it. That is my voice. Yes, you guys better believe it. But before we get started,
Okay, we finally got what we wanted, or at least I finally got what I wanted, in Carson Wentz getting traded to the Colts. Now, some people are saying that this is a steal for the Colts, and the Eagles should be happy now that they don't have Carson Wentz anymore. I mean, in your opinion, Drew, I want to know who won this trade, really. I mean, there's no clear winner right now, but who wins it right now?
In my opinion, the Detroit Lions won it because, listen to this. The Eagles, they wanted almost the exact same package the Lions got in return from the Rams. Tell me, what did the Eagles get?
A third rounder in this year's draft and a conditional second round pick for next year's draft.
Oh boy, that was very, very close to the package the Lions got for Matthew Stafford. So I'm gonna have to say, the Colts really didn't have to do too much or give up too much for Carson Wentz. So right now, I'm going to have to say the Colts just because of the return that they gave to the Eagles. I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Right now, similar to you, I really don't think there's a clear winner. But if I had to pick one, it'd probably be the Colts.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's like the Eagles can still, find their way with Jalen Hurts, or if they dare draft a quarterback with the 6th pick in this year's draft, instead of a skill position, which I watched him try to do this quarterback factory bullcrap all over again. It's going to be, Philadelphia. I'm praying for you. But who knows? I mean, Carson Wentz could turn out to prove that last season wasn't a fluke, and he actually is a bust. He can turn around and prove that he's the Colts franchise quarterback, the answer for another franchise that's not the Philadelphia Eagles and not Doug Peterson, but Frank Reich, at the head coaching helm. And he has a decent running game for once. And I mean, not decent running game, but a guy that can be comfortable with running the football. Miles Sanders is a good running back, but he was so underused in Philadelphia with Carson Wentz under center. Now you get Jonathan Taylor, and now you got that Colts offensive line. Did you see what Phillip Rivers did last year? Phillip Rivers took this team to the playoffs.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I was like, they have one of the best O-lines in the league. They've had one of the best O-lines in the league for the past few years. I mean, you would think that Carson Wentz should thrive in this offense. If he doesn't, we may have to go back to, the bust discussions. But until then, I think he is in a better situation. Obviously, I think he'll be able to talk to his coach instead of staying away from his coach for about 8 to 10 weeks and not even talking to Doug Peterson. So hopefully, he has a better relationship with his teammates, coaches, and front office, and maybe it'll work.
Yeah, and hopefully he doesn't have to worry about Jacoby Brissett getting that starting job from him, which that should definitely not be the case. But it is what it is. I'm excited. I think the Colts are going to win the division outright next year. It's a bold take, but I really think they can fix Carson Wentz. If not, then oh well. But, I mean, Phillip Rivers in his last year went 11-5. That's pretty good. Now you get a relatively young, I won't say young, but an experienced young quarterback in Carson Wentz, and maybe the Colts can do something. We'll have to wait and see, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, it's kind of crazy how the two quarterbacks who I wouldn't say outrightly requested a trade get traded, but the one that came out in public and said that he wanted to get traded has yet to get traded. So that's very, very interesting.
Yeah, and speaking of that situation that you were talking about, how about J.J. Watt getting the release?
I heard that the Browns are currently the front runners, and I'd love to see it. I'd love for him to go to his brother's rival. That'd be awesome. That would be awesome.
And then, there's two guys that Cleveland has been, getting hyped up about. Richard Sherman and J.J. Watt. If they somehow find a way to get both of those players, oh dear God, there's going to be hype. The Browns are going to get so much hype, and I pray to God they don't flop like they did when they went 6-10 the year before. But man, J.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, oh my gosh, those are two nasty dudes on the edges.
Beautiful, beautiful. I would love to see it. I would love to see it just for the sheer fact that he would be going to his brother's team's rival.
Oh yeah,
in the same division.
Yeah. Now there would be some brotherly love lost just a little bit if something like that were to happen. Oh my gosh! And I know Miz. I saw this one. I don't know if he was a Browns fan or not, but this guy named Miz. I think it was on Sports Nation or something. He had an epic pitch for J.J. Watt to come to Cleveland. He's like, you get to get a ring and beat your brother twice a year. And I'm just like,
dude, I am not a Miz fan. Yeah, he's probably my least favorite wrestler. I mean, who would have thought that top of the standings be bringing up the WWE? That's kind of funny. But no, the Miz, his takes are terrible. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if what he said happens, but I'm never gonna listen to the Miz. He is annoying.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. But you know what? If the Browns pull this off, I will be ecstatic. I would rather him go to the Browns than the Bears, to be honest.
Obviously.
I see how it is. No, I'm just playing. I brought that into existence. I saw that coming. But I'm loving it. This is why we love football, right? This is why football is a relevant topic throughout the entire year. It's just so fun to, talk about, year in, year out, off season, all the trades, and especially this one with the quarterback carousels and the head coaching shiftings and all this and that. Man, you gotta love the NFL right now.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Speaking of fun, college basketball just never stops giving me surprises.
Yes, we won. We finally won. Michigan State won. They came back too. They were down 19-6 and ended up winning by 6. Love it.
See, I told you should have faith in that pennant over there. I told you should have faith in that team. I mean, the season's not done yet, obviously. You know what I'm saying? You still, and hey, your win over Duke, it got boosted too, because Duke then turned around and beat Virginia, which I totally saw coming because the numbers.
I don't know.
I remember.
I don't know. I don't know if it got boosted too much because, before that, Duke was 0-3 against ranked opponents. That was their first win over a ranked opponent. So.
Yeah, I know, but it definitely doesn't hurt the Spartans. I mean, the Spartans definitely didn't get hurt last night. But that win over Indiana was huge because now you're fighting with the Hoosiers over bubble, maybe a at-large bid. Depending on how deep you guys go in the conference tournament. I mean, we obviously know the Big Ten is going to be up for grabs for anybody at any point in time, except if you're in Nebraska. But dude, I mean, there's so many bubbles that were helped out a little bit. I don't know what to say. I mean, the Big 12 is really trying to make their case as well for trying to be the best conference in college basketball. I mean, the Big 10 and the Big 12 are basically trading haymakers. Some great Big 12 games. West Virginia is having a knack for a comeback. I've seen so many West Virginia comebacks. They come down from 20, coming back from down 19 in the second half and stuff like that. They're seemingly never out of their games.
Yeah, they've always had a pretty good program over the years. Obviously not top notch, but they've always been competitive. It's good to see. I mean, I don't mind West Virginia. I think they're a good team.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good teams in the Big 12 too. I mean, I know Texas Tech is on a slump, but I think they're still a dangerous team to look out for. I mean, obviously we know about Baylor. Whoo, boy, I'm telling you, man, we're getting closer and closer. Only 2 weeks, 3 weeks away from the conference tournaments, and then ultimately March Madness. Man, and then we're gonna have fans in the stands for March Madness. Oh my gosh, at a limited capacity, of course, but still, it's something.
I mean, hey, you don't want to jinx it, so hopefully there's March Madness this year. Knock on wood. There you go. Yeah, I mean, we can hope. I mean, it would be good for the sport. I just, hope it is as competitive as it has been in the past few years. Again, I'm still trying to see a crazy team like, I don't know, Loyola Chicago, who we jinxed again. Right, like literally, we jinxed them just like we did Drake the week before. So let's, be quiet about, these teams that we enjoy watching.
How about you praise Scum?
Yeah, and they almost lost. It was close, but Michigan, you're very good. Hey, you're coming up. It's very close. You have a rivalry game coming up very, very soon. I wish you the best of luck. I mean, it's an easy win for you. You play Michigan State. I mean, it's easy. I mean, just come in here. Don't just you probably don't even have to practice. Michigan State's terrible. I mean, come on.
It's funny because the game is literally on right now. It's hilarious. This is so hilarious. How, I mean, you just see it coming from Michigan eventually. They're going to go on that crazy run. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna go out and win the Big Ten. I mean, they're the highest ranked team in the Big Ten, of course, as we know. They've obviously had a great season.
Keep on praising them, please. Come on,
yeah,
keep on going.
Representing Michigan better than we expected them to.
Yep.
Maybe we'll see them in the Final Four.
Oh, I hope so. I really do. I think they'll get there easily.
Oh yeah, I'm loving this. I know one team we might not be seeing that we probably should have saw last year. My Nittany Lions. What a missed opportunity, man.
Yeah, that's very, very unfortunate. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Maybe someday.
It is what it is. But you know what? I'm just ready to see all these other somebody that hasn't won a national championship before win the national championship or something like that. Hopefully.
Agreed.
Okay, dude. Let me talk about the NBA real quick because a lot of things happened, let's just say. I mean, the Jazz got their streak snapped by the Clippers. Okay. The Lakers are in a little bit of a slump. I know they're injury riddled, but can you make sense of what's going on like in the NBA world right now?
It seems like this past week, so many players were out. I mean, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Dennis Schroeder, Anthony Davis, KD, Kyrie. Bro, you could go on and on and on about how many players were out this week. It was pretty crazy, but also, like you said, the Lakers, they're kind of struggling a little bit. I mean, they're missing two starters, but hey, the Nets, they may be on the rise.
Oh boy, yeah. I want to see what they do against the Clippers today, shorthanded, because that's going to tell me a lot about this team. If they can beat the Phoenix Suns without KD and Kyrie, just James Harden being a flamethrower, then I really want to see if they can stay consistent and build, get the role players some confidence, because they're going to need it when it comes to the playoffs, especially, if they wind up, going to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, real quick, I need to know your thoughts. Listen to this. Last year, the Detroit Pistons front court Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond. A year later, both of those players on the trade block, and Andre Drummond's on the Cavs. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Blake Griffin's his time is done in a Pistons uniform. Same with Andre in the Cavs uniform. Where would you like to see those two players land?
Somebody's got to go to Brooklyn.
I definitely could see it.
I feel like Brooklyn is going to sell, and I know you would love it, for Detroit, because I mean, I don't know how many more first round picks the Nets can give up at this point. I mean, they gave up so many for Harden. How much more can you give up? Are you really in a win now mentality?
I mean, they already gave us Sadiq Bey, so it's all right. Whatever they give. I mean, I don't know if it can be better than Sadiq Bey right now, but I could definitely see Andre Drummond going to the Nets. I think that's a player that would work very, very well with the Nets in their front court, obviously, grabbing rebounds, offensive. I was going to say offensive threat, but we know how, Andre is offensively sometimes, but I definitely could see Andre going to the Nets. Blake, that's up in the air. I've seen some people say the Lakers, some people say the Celtics. Many. That would be ugly in my opinion as well. Blake Griffin and Green. Ooh.
Andre Drummond and Celtic Green too. Oh my gosh, dude, that wouldn't hit right with me, man. That just wouldn't.
It'd be gross. No. I would not like it either.
Take them somewhere like, I don't know, Philadelphia or something.
No. No.
Sixers?
No. Especially not Andre Drummond. His rivalry with Embiid. Pacers.
Still a rivalry with Embiid.
I don't know. I think Blake would fit better in Indiana, in my opinion.
How about the New York Knicks?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I guess. I mean, for either of them.
I mean, I think it would be a decent fit.
Yeah. So we're about to trade Derrick Rose and Blake Griffin to the Knicks.
I forgot you traded Derrick Rose to the Knicks. Okay. Maybe somewhere to the west. Somewhere that's not Los Angeles.
Who was it? Was it Stephen A. Smith? I think it might have been Stephen A. Smith again. But he said that Blake Griffin should go back to the Clippers, but he first has to apologize to Steve Ballmer. Why should Blake Griffin have to apologize? He got a 5-year extension and then gets traded months later. Why should he apologize?
That makes no sense.
Why should he apologize?
The trade literally made no sense when it happened. It was just like, you just signed this man to a 5-year extension. What are you trading him the next year for? How does that make sense?
I was shocked when the Pistons got that. I was like, oh my God, what? After he just signed a 5-year extension for all that money? Why? That made no sense to me. Why should Blake have to apologize? If it wasn't Stephen A. Smith, I'm sorry, but that's who I believe said that. It was... I was like, huh? I mean, maybe, but I just don't see Blake Griffin ever wanting to go back to the team who sold him off to Detroit.
Yeah, I highly doubt that too. But you know what? I mean, all this stuff is happening before the trade. All these trade rumors that have been going on well before the trade deadline is even in existence. It's just like, it's insane to think about how we're talking about this insanity this early in the NBA season.
Yeah. I mean, I said this earlier. It's almost like the trade deadline has already arrived.
Yeah, dude. Although I want to mention some individual performances, because I've seen some great individual performances. I know he did it in a losing effort, but your boy Jeremy Grant, you keep on talking about him in 43.
He deserves an all-star bid, in my opinion. I mean, I at this point, if Lillard didn't get in over Luka, I don't know if Jeremy Grant will get in, but I hope he does. I really hope he does. I mean, he has deserved it. He's playing at an all-star level. I mean, he's by far the most improved player. He went from He has progressed in each year of his career. I think he averaged around 6 points his rookie year, started gradually increasing to maybe like 8, and then last year, 13 points. Now he's averaging 23. That's a 10-point jump in a year. And
Give him that.
He's going off. He's going off. Each night he had a streak of, I don't know, 15 straight 20-plus point games.
That's insane. And give him that MIP, bro. Just give him the MIP.
He's already earned it. And I have one more crazy stat that I saw watching the Pistons game. I think he leads the league. He has the most games with 20-plus points, 2+ made 3-point field goals, and 1 or more blocks. He's leading Kevin Durant, Brandon Ingram, Giannis.
Wow. See, that's production that's not just offense, that's defense too.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Getting blocks, making 3 points, 3-pointers, and then scoring 20 or more plus points. 16 games with all 3 of those stats.
Wow, that's got to be somewhat fun to watch. I mean, we figured that the Pistons were going to look extremely different this year, but this is a bright spot, man. This is a bright spot. That was a steal.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, he's definitely the best player the Pistons have had since Blake Griffin, 2018-2019 Blake Griffin, when Blake Griffin was an All-Star. I do think that Jeremy Grant should be an All-Star. But like I said, if Damian Lillard isn't starting, which he isn't, and the fans voted Luka in, it's going to be tough for Jeremy to get in. But based on the coaches and the players' votes, he ranks 7th among reserves. So there's a chance. I definitely think he's deserving, but I guess we'll have to see. I really think he should be an All-Star, though.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, the fact that the Pistons were, in that game against the Bulls like that was, I mean, the game was fun to watch, but I'm looking at the Bulls as well. Like, are you guys really trying to push for the playoffs? And that might be another trade destination for, the 2 former Pistons. I think the Chicago Bulls, they're trying. I think they're right on the verge. Like they're half a game behind the Knicks for that 8th seed. So, and you know how weak the East can be sometimes. And
I think they need some more offensive production, in my opinion, because this past week, I mean, this whole entire year, it has essentially been the Zach LaVine show. Other than that, I mean, you got Kobe White in there, who. He's done some things during the season. Obviously, they're the only 2 teammates in NBA history to hit 8 or more 3-pointers as teammates in the same game. But other than him, they haven't really gotten too much production as a whole. But I definitely think they need something else. They just need something else to get some more offensive production, because it can't all come from one player. We've seen how this has worked. James Harden in these past few years hasn't been able to, accomplish much, or the Rockets as a team haven't been able to accomplish much. So you need to find Zach LaVine some help.
Yeah, definitely, because I've seen so many close games that this team has lost. Like the one against Golden State, where I believe it was Damian Lee who hit a game-winning 3. Then obviously we know about Damian Lillard's dagger. This team has trouble closing out games, and it's just like, how is this team so undisciplined in the clutch? It's just like, geez, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna have to fix that, in the second half of the season. And I'm obviously gonna have to see what that schedule is looking like, because we've seen some teams with some weak schedules and some strong schedules, and we're gonna see what these teams are really made of and all this and that. You know the deal. But one last thing, I want to talk about the Milwaukee Bucks, because.
Bro, you broke him. You broke him. The Magic broke him. In the playoffs, the Magic broke him.
Did we really crack the code on Giannis?
Bro, I think you broke him. I really do. I think the Magic broke him. I mean, it's funny. No, I'm kidding. I don't think we should be surprised. I bet Giannis is almost regretting his extension because he's doing all he can, and again, similar to Zach LaVine, he hasn't really gotten too much help. I really do not think the Bucks. Who can I compare them to? They can win in the regular season. Can't do a thing in the playoffs.
Capitals.
Sure. Hey, maybe even the Packers.
Bingo. Bingo, right there. That is it right there. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Aaron Rodgers.
They've hung out too much.
Oh, Wisconsin guys. That's a perfect comparison. Oh my gosh. But yeah, dude, Giannis. I mean, me personally, I would have stayed just because Milwaukee.
Yeah,
I
sure.
mean, but dude, the dude's got to get some help. Maybe they're just one superstar away.
Yeah.
Because
Middleton, he's good. I mean, he has been an all-star, but compared to maybe a player like James Harden or I don't know who else you can compare it to, but they definitely need another superstar. I mean, again, Middleton is good. I would not consider him, a superstar.
Yeah, the thing about Giannis is the thing is what separates him from Joel Embiid right now. Joel Embiid has a somewhat consistent jump shot. And we talk about this all the time. And it's just like, if Giannis could shoot, maybe this team would have had a finals trip before. But it's just like, come on, man.
It's really funny. Like, some days you see players actually guarding him from three, and then other days you see the person guarding him take that. And then he bricks. I mean.
Yeah, it's like, some dudes just don't respect his 3-point shooting, and for good reason too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to say about the Bucks, man. I wish they would get over the hump, but man,
imagine if they pulled off that Bogdan trade.
That would have gave them a somewhat consistent, wing 3 guy, dude. Oh my gosh, it's like they're trying to put the pieces together. They reconstructed their team, and maybe they're like the Nets. Maybe they need time to get their new team really clicking together and stuff like that.
Yeah, because you're right. I mean, they have an entirely different team. Drew Holiday. I mean, even Bryn Forbes on the bench. They got a lot of different pieces. I don't know though. I don't know. It's not looking good because we've seen what the Bucks can do. I mean, and they have done what we have normally seen them. Obviously, they don't usually lose 5 straight games, but they need to fix something. They like you said, they need to get a superstar. They need to fix something for them to propel them into superstar team, because I do think that they can be that. With Giannis, you can do whatever you want with Giannis. I mean, he's obviously these past few years been the best player. We know how the MVP award works sometimes, but I don't know. The Bucks are in trouble in my opinion.
Yeah, but you know what? One last thing I'll say about them in the NBA. You never want to count out the other. I mean, you just want to look at what the other Bucks did down in Tampa Bay, and they had a franchise overhaul. It was like a completely different. I mean, uniform change, new quarterback, bringing players in mid-season out of nowhere. Doing all this and that. They're 7-5. No, everybody's like, you guys suck. You just lost to Kansas City. They're gonna beat you. You're not gonna go back to the Super Bowl. You're not gonna. Tom Brady's washed. All this and that. They had all that criticism, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl. So with the Milwaukee Bucks, I guess we should never count them out. But yeah, they are in trouble. They're gonna need some things if they want to if we want to say Bucks are the champions again.
Yeah, exactly.
The name of this show serves me right. Top of the. I mean, can I say under your discretion?
Yes.
Okay. Top of the standings, baby. Top in the division. Let's go. I'm hyped, bro.
What did I tell you? You need to have some confidence in your team. They're a good team. I told you. You're like, I don't know. Maybe it'll be tough for them to, break into the top 4. I was like, no, they're going to be good. They're going to make the playoffs.
I mean, I was questioning who are they gonna lean on outside of Andrei Svechnikov and Sebastian Aho, and I'm just like, but hey, these guys are stepping up. I like it. We need to keep this same energy. We've won, 7 of our last 10. I'm liking it. We've gotten, 15 points in the last 10 games. I'm liking it. I like what I see. Top of the division with the Panthers. The Panthers
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of funny. The Panthers, the majority of their losses have come from the Red Wings, and the majority of the wins that the Red Wings have come against the Panthers. So they're kind of helping each other out. I mean, the Red Wings, again, terrible. The Panthers, they're good. I mean, I was surprised. I really am.
I mean, don't fret. I mean, the Red Wings are literally 1 point away from surpassing Nashville. I mean,
No, they need to stay down there.
okay.
No, they need to stay down there. This is all part of the plan. They're doing it in a natural way. You need to, be the dynasty in the NHL. Then someday it's gonna fall apart, like every dynasty in, world history. It just needs to, fall apart. Now they're going at a natural pace where they're bad, and they're supposed to be bad. They don't need to be good. And then it's all part of the process. When they get the high draft lottery pick, they can have all of their young guys progress in the league like some of them are right now. And then pretty soon they'll be back on top, This is all part of the process.
So trust the process, Detroit style.
Yes, this is a organic process.
Oh, okay. I'll keep that in mind. But yeah, as long as the Red Wings keep, upsetting these top teams and still stay at the bottom of the Central, I guess the part of the plan is not that bad because, competition, like you have the ability to beat, if you can beat the teams, at the top of the standings, and you can still, properly and sneakily tank as well, hey, I'm in. I have faith, in the next 2-3 years that the tank will pay off.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think they're sneakily tanking. I think they're actually tanking. If you watched the game from Friday, the Red Wings lost to the Panthers 7-2. This is not a quiet tank.
Okay, I take that back. But yeah, bottom line, man, I'm happy to be a Canes fan.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's like we're up and down seesaw. It's like the Red Wings. When the Red Wings are good, the Canes probably aren't. The Canes are good.
We did beat you in the Stanley Cup playoffs, Stanley Cup Finals. So we were both good at a time. Sorry, had to bring that up. It was necessary though.
Yeah, no, I'm just playing. I'm not fretting about that much. Although, I wish I was alive to see your reaction.
Yeah.
Obviously that would have been the Canes' first championship, but obviously I wouldn't have hated the Red Wings, at the time because I don't hate them now. How could I hate them back then? Yeah. But yeah, that would have been fun. But now we're in the same conference, and it's just like, same division too, and it's just like, it's not gonna happen anymore. It's like the Eastern Conference Finals is our new Stanley Cup final, and I would love to see it.
Yeah. How it's snowing outside, right? It's snowing. It's snowing almost all around the world. In Texas too. Who would have thought? But yesterday there was an outdoor game, and
Yeah.
it had to get delayed because apparently the sun was causing problems. Lake Tahoe, I don't know. That's a very odd place to have an outdoor game. But nonetheless, it happened, or it kind of happened. It started to happen. It postponed and then it resumed. But if you guys didn't know, the Vegas Golden Knights took on the Colorado Avalanche at an outdoor game at Lake Tahoe. And the game had to be canceled at the end of the first period. It had to be canceled because the ice was starting to melt under the sun. So they stopped play at maybe, I don't know when it started, maybe like 2 o'clock. And they ended up resuming at midnight Eastern time. So that was just so random.
I know.
Outdoor game at midnight in the second period.
Like, dude, how did they even get the lighting to work on it? Like, it was like when you look outside the rink, it was like pitch black. It was like playing under a black screen. Like, I didn't see anything outside of the snow and the trees and forest or whatever. And
imagine if like a bear interrupted the game.
Oh my god.
Coyote or something.
You guys say they got sticks as weapons and a whole lot of pads. But poor referees, though. They wouldn't have no protection.
Bro, yeah, and speaking of the referees, they were tripping and falling all game. They kept on getting, tripped up in the divots made by the sun. That was very random. And we can talk about the jerseys too. I mean, hey, the Avalanche, they had their former team, the Nordiques jersey on. They were pretty cool. And then I actually got a text from my dad. When he turned it on, he thought the Flames were playing because of the Golden Knights jerseys. The all red. It was. Hey, I think that the Vegas Golden Knights have the most unique color scheme in the NHL, let alone the entire professional sports. I mean, it's really random. I mean, all red when your team is the Golden Knights.
Yeah, and then your home jersey is mostly black and gray. It's like they really take it to the extreme, when it comes to their uniforms. And you know what? Rightfully so. It's freaking Vegas.
Yeah.
It's freaking Vegas. I think the Raiders should take notes and maybe pull out some random. I don't know which one. Maybe gold.
Dude, yeah.
I don't know, but I think because I remember ESPN NFL 2K5 and the Raiders had they had some type of yellow in their cover scheme. I think they had a yellow helmet once, way back in the day or something like that. I gotta look back, but yeah, I mean there were some weird uniforms that came through. Packers had all gold. The Vikings had a yellow jersey. The Dolphins had blue jerseys. The Cardinals had blue jerseys. It was just it was weird. But yeah, the Vegas Golden Knights, yeah, they got. If I were to pick a jersey for my sister to wear, that's the first jersey I'm picking.
Hey, that's fair. I really, really do enjoy their jerseys. I think they have one of the nicest in the league. I also want to know, I don't know if it's just me being a Penguins hater or Sidney Crosby hater, but what's going on with Sidney Crosby? His name has been brought up a lot.
Well, yeah, on the ice, he's on the 1,000th game, and yeah, the entire team mimicked him.
Yeah, I mean, I also heard that he might want to get traded as well, or he said he didn't want to get traded, but there's been rumors as well.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I mean, the Penguins are somewhat. I won't say they're Stanley Cup contenders. They're still playoff contenders, and maybe could sneak in and make a run. Okay, you're not having it. Yeah, I mean, the Islanders have been on the rise as well, and I mean, who knows? Maybe Lafreniere is starting to come into his own as a New York Ranger, and somebody can sneak in there and steal a spot from the Penguins, because usually the status quo is Bruins, Penguins, Flyers, Capitals, and that's it. But looks like lesser teams are starting to get in. Maybe I hope the Devils can start a run or something, because they're second to last. But
and they got a new captain as well, so hey, maybe that will boost some morale. But hey, can we get our weekly update on the Canadians?
It's funny. It's starting to come into fruition now. The Canadians still have played the least amount of games out of any team in the North Division. The division leader Maple Leafs have played 19. The Oilers have 20. The Jets have 17, and the Canadians have 16. So they still have points that they can still rack up, but still seeing them, hanging on to that last playoff spot. It's just maybe Drew was right. Maybe he was right.
Hey, the boat's starting to tip. The boat's starting to tip.
Oh, brother! If there's one team I want to be in the playoffs instead of the Canadians, it's the Flames, just so I can see my Oilers Flames. Yeah. That's really all I want. But my dream four in the North is the Maple Leafs, the Canadians, the Flames, and the Oilers. That's my dream four.
I mean, I guess it's not terrible. Again, not a big fan of the Leafs. Again, I think they're like the Bucks. They're not good in the playoffs. So we'll see how that works. I don't know. I'm hoping something crazy happens. I'd love to see Edmonton in there. Love to see the Flames in there again. Even Vancouver, but I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, I really do want to see your reaction. If not, the Canadians make the playoffs in what was it, May? But yeah, dude, I'm still stoked. I'm excited, but I want to bring some attention from the West, because the Los Angeles Kings are, they're starting to make some noise, Drew. They've won 4 in a row. They actually have a grip on that 4th spot in the West. So, what do you think about them Kings?
I mean, they've struggled the past few years, but again, they're I wouldn't say a historic team. They have been good this prior decade. In the 2010s, they were very good. They have a few Stanley Cup or championship wins. Also, they've just been a really, really good team these past few years. They haven't. I don't know. I mean, I don't mind them. I really like their old school purple jerseys.
Oh yeah, it's like it feels like so long ago. And that's another thing I don't understand about the NHL sometimes. Like when you look back in history, the color schemes of certain teams were just.
I think it's also because a lot of teams have switched around, like location wise. I mean, so many teams that are currently, a team have a few of them have been a team elsewhere. So I think that also factors into it. I don't know. I think that, like you said, the old color schemes were a lot better. I love the old jerseys. Nothing beats them.
I'll go 50-50 with that one because, man, I don't know. I just don't think I would sit right with seeing the Capitals in black, teal, and cream, whatever those colors were, or maybe the Vancouver Canucks in gold, red, and black. I'm like looking at the jersey, I'm like, what the heck is this? And it's not even different location. It's the same city, same franchise, and I'm just like,
what about the Hartford Whalers?
Oh gosh, don't bring that into existence. This is fine. This is fine. Please, Carolina front office owners, don't change this.
Go back to Hartford.
No, I do not. I do not like the Whalers. I do not.
Dang, your own team.
No, a shadow of my own team. I do not. I will not tolerate it. Oh my God.
That's fair. I understand.
I'll understand if they're an expansion franchise and we still have the Carolina Hurricanes. I'll be fine with that. But don't you dare get rid of the Carolina Hurricanes. I will not tolerate it. I will not.
What if they went to Atlanta Thrashers?
Okay. I might support the Thrashers, but I'm not going to be a diehard Thrashers fan like I am a Hurricanes fan.
Okay, again, fair.
But regardless, sticking to the present, as we get ready for the Kraken to come in.
Yes.
The NHL is still booming, and I'm just excited to see the points rack up for the teams. Let's stick to the present. I don't want to talk about expansions and get rid of the Hurricanes. It shall not happen.
Okay. I understand.
All right, Drew, let's get into MVPs and LVPs. Now, I saw your comment from really early in the morning, so I apologize for the robbery. But
right.
Who is your second choice for your MVP?
It's going to be Zach LaVine. I mean, as much as I'm not really the biggest Zach LaVine fan, hey, he got into it with my boy Josh Jackson, so I got to stick up for my team. I still think Josh Jackson would win in a fight between the two. Nonetheless, it has to be Zach LaVine. As much as I am, again, not the biggest Zach LaVine fan, I have to give credit where credit is due. He has probably been the best player over these past few weeks. I mean, he's been crazy. I mean, he's averaged 33.1 points, 5.7 rebounds, 5 assists in the past 10 games. So if that's not worthy of an MVP award, I don't know what is. A very, very good player. Not the biggest fan, though.
I mean, yeah, he's still making the Bulls relevant somewhat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got to give him that. But my MVP, since I beat you to the jump.
You did.
See, this was the first time that I had actually watched Top Rank boxing to its entirety.
Hey.
This was the very first time. I've seen, part of it a little bit, maybe a few rounds, and I turned it off.
Hey, I gotta ask, did you enjoy watching?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Hey,
I was stoked.
hey, me and my grandfather, we watch every Saturday, every time there's an event going on, and we enjoy watching. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, there was not a lot that can get me interested in the boxing, but the storyline behind the championship fight between Oscar Valdez and Miguel Berchelt, dude, I was like, huh, two Mexican boxers. There's a history of Mexican boxers. Let me see what the heck this is all about. And then Joe Tessitore was on the call too. So I was like, oh, I love me some Joe Tessitore. So let me see what this dude is about because I love his calls. He's got
Oh yeah,
great.
he's a really good boxing announcer as well.
Yeah, I wish he was as good as a football announcer, but Monday Night Football, ESPN, just straight garbage. But I have to give my MVP award to Oscar Valdez for pulling off that upset in the way he did. It was so monumental. I had to show it to my little sister to show her that is how you knock out a man. That is how you knock somebody out, like lights out. That is how you fold somebody like an omelet. Like, and I hope that Miguel is all right after that because he was down for a good like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, it was pure dominance the entire fight. I mean, the first 3 rounds after that, you could tell that the champ he was struggling a little bit. It was tough, for I was so impressed with Berchelt's ability to not be knocked down. Did you see that? He was wobbling all the way around, kept on getting hit in the face, and he has a tough chin. He was not getting knocked down for the life of him until the final KO.
Dude, that was so epic. Looking at the replay, like Berchelt was laying it all out on the line for those last 5 seconds of the 10th round. And Valdez was just duking and ducking. And the way he was looking, the look on his eyes, I was like, oh, that's epic. That is so epic. And then he ducked under that one last punch and hooked to the dome. I was like,
yeah.
woo!
And it's not too often that you actually see a pure knockout, usually technical knockout. But he was out. And it was crazy because he beat the bell, but earlier in the fight, like I mentioned earlier, he was gonna get that exact same knockout, maybe in the 5th, maybe sixth round, and Berchelt was saved by the bell. Like he was so close to being done.
Yeah.
and the bell saved him. This time the bell did not save him, and it was a buzzer beater.
Yeah, that one last second, 2:59 in the 10th round. That was so raw because as soon as he crumbled to the ground after that punch, the bell rung, and I was like, "That is too perfect. That is like Hollywood scripted." And I was like, the ref is saying like, "It's over, it's over." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" Because I was obviously rooting for Oscar because I just looking at the storyline, I was like, "Okay, he's the underdog." So you know my standard on underdogs. Berchelt definitely was talking that stuff. Like I don't care what he says, but this now I'm like, oh my gosh, Oscar Valdez is so humble.
And his post-game interview, too, he said the exact same thing. He was talking about how announcers were doubting him, his opponents were doubting him, his teammates were doubting him. Everyone was doubting him. And then he showed that you can your dreams can come true. So, motivational stuff there. That was a great fight. I enjoyed watching.
Oh, yeah, definitely, dude. That earned my MVP. That punch right there, oh my gosh, that sealed his MVP status for this week.
Hey, back to back, or I would say, I had an LVP that not many people had heard of. Now you got the MVP. Hey, we're doing this. We need to shine some light on some of the underrated people in sports.
Yeah, this is especially coming. The first time I watched Top Rank Boxing in full length, I have an MVP come out of it.
There you go. See that? Hey, it's that easy to find, a good story, in whatever sport you watch. But nonetheless, let's get to these LVPs because I'm really really interested in hearing what yours is.
Okay. So, I sometimes preach about composure in the clutch. Well, my LVP is Draymond Green because he literally lost all of it in last night's loss against the Charlotte Hornets. So this man is disputing a jump ball call, and he gets his word in. He's heading back to the bench, but he continues to bark with the refs. Okay, look, there's at some point you just gotta let it go, dude. But dude, look at the situation. You're up by 2 with like 4 or 5 seconds left to go in the game. The other team just called a timeout. They have possession down by 2. You get called for you get called for techs and get ejected from the game. Give them 2 technical free throws and possession, and then Terry Rozier hits a buzzer beater on your head to win the game. My LVP has to go to Draymond because he started it and he let Terry Rozier finish him.
Yeah, that's fair. Hey, I like Draymond. I like Draymond. I'm a big Draymond fan. I really am. I'm a Michigan State Spartan dog, you know. Really, really underrated player in my opinion. Hated on a lot, but yep, sometimes he loses his composure, and that was probably the worst that we've seen happen when Draymond loses his composure.
Yeah, and even Steve Kerr had to, call him out a little bit on that. Like you went too far, dude. That's not the situation where you could just do that. I mean, you just don't do that with a chance to get one more defensive stop, maybe shoot some free throws and win the game and get out of Charlotte with a dub. But nope. You let the Hornets get one on you, even though Curry wasn't playing the game. But still, that was one that you definitely could have won.
Sure was, and you should have won because the Hornets were dead. They were done.
Now, what's your MVP? Because I'm starting to get tired of this, man.
My LVP is the Houston Rockets. We're going back to the NBA. This is just so weird to me. I've never seen this before. So obviously, during the preseason, the Rockets signed DeMarcus Cousins to a non-guaranteed deal, right? So he's played really, really well alongside John Wall, former teammate at Kentucky. They've been clicking all year. I mean, especially when Christian Wood has been out. Boogie Cousins, he's been filling the void. He's been really, really good for the Rockets. So two days ago, they finally guaranteed his contract. So after not having a guaranteed contract going into the seasons, they finally guaranteed it. Less than 24 hours later, they say that they are going to part ways. Huh? So first of all, you guarantee his contract by giving him money, by accepting to take on his contract, and then less than 24 hours later, you're saying the Houston Rockets organization and DeMarcus Cousins are parting ways. Huh? What? I mean, I get that you're going for the youth movement with Christian Wood, and I 100% agree because Christian Wood has been really, really good these past 2 years. Christian Wood has shown that he should be an all-star almost. I mean, I love Christian Wood. I'm still kind of salty he didn't re-sign with the Pistons, but I mean, that makes no sense to me. You're going to guarantee DeMarcus Cousins his contract, and then 2 days or less than 24 hours later, you're going to say, "Yeah, we're actually parting ways." What?
So, Andrew, right now you're seeing my raw reaction to this because I had absolutely no idea why you were giving this team the LVP. I seen they lost 7 in a row. I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's doing it because maybe we thought the Rockets were going to be a playoff team after they got to a good start with after trading James Harden and they lost 7 in a row. But I had absolutely no idea until you just told me about them releasing DeMarcus Cousins. That is beyond stupid.
Dude, I mean, him and John Wall were clicking. That's the entire reason why DeMarcus Cousins wanted to be in Houston. He wanted to play with his former teammate John Wall, and they were playing so well together. And then after literally guaranteeing his contract, they decide that they're going to part ways. That literally makes no sense to me.
Oh, what else is new in Houston, man? What else is new in Houston?
I mean, shout out to Christian Wood, but I just didn't understand that move whatsoever. I mean, it's crazy. Imagine your contract is getting guaranteed and you're going to get all this money, and then less than 24 hours later, oh no, sorry, we're releasing you. Huh?
Wow. That is beyond stupid. Oh my gosh. I had to look this up on my phone just to make sure that I was hearing this right. I had no idea.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
It hasn't really been public. I mean, on Twitter it was broken by Shams, one of the NBA senior editors who breaks trades and releases and stuff. But yeah, I was like, that makes literally no sense. But I guess Houston's gonna do what Houston does, and maybe we'll see DeMarcus Cousins back in LA because that seems to be the main suitor right now, which is kind of funny. They decided to want or take Marc Gasol, and now they're like, nah, maybe Boogie is a better option. But it's so unfortunate because Boogie these past few years has been hurt with so many injuries, and he's been a top-notch player. And then the one time he finally finds some success, he gets his contract guaranteed, he gets released.
Injuries suck. Injuries suck. All right, dude, let's get into some trivia. So last week, I actually had a NFL playoff stat that I wanted to ask you about. Who is the only AFC team to have a winning record against Tom Brady in the playoffs?
Okay, so I didn't answer this because I was very confident, and I'm very excited because I don't know what it is, but I have a really good guess. And if I get this, I'm going to be very upset. If I don't get it, I'm going to be very upset. Okay. Is it the Denver Broncos?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. That's why I was so confident. I didn't even want to say my guess because I was so confident. Uh-oh. I think I know what's coming up. There we go. Yes, sir.
These guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That team.
Yep.
Those flags, that banner.
Yep.
All that.
Yep.
And those were the golden years. Some of those playoff wins came in the golden years of my Broncos fandom.
Oh, 100%. Mine as well. I was a big Broncos fan back then, especially when, obviously Peyton Manning. That was the fantastic team. Yeah, that was my guess as well because I literally remember watching most of those games on TV, and I was so ecstatic that the Broncos got Tom Brady out of there.
Yeah, and I was just, dude, like literally, yeah. So the Broncos are 3-1 against Brady in the playoffs. Obviously the 2 AFC Championship wins that Peyton Manning, brought. Then back in 2006, the year 2006. They put the Patriots' three-peat dreams to an end by beating them in the divisional round. And then the one loss was obviously when Tebow got spanked after, beating the Steelers in the wild card round. That crazy I think it was Demaryius Thomas, that touchdown pass in overtime.
Yeah.
But
I could be wrong, but I didn't even realize the 2006 win happened. I was going based off of the 2 Peyton Manning wins. Just I was like, that has been the only quarterback able to really take Tom Brady's throne. But I believe, I could be wrong, but I lived in Denver in 2006. I may have attended that playoff game. I could be wrong. I was 2 years old, but I could be wrong.
It was definitely the hot talk in Denver. Because obviously, the Patriots, they were looking to win 3 championships in a row.
Yeah.
And not only that, the Super Bowl was in Detroit that year. So, obviously there had to be some.
That was the Steelers, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the Steelers. Yeah, the Steelers won the Super Bowl that year.
Yep. Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, I may have attended that Broncos Patriots game. I could be wrong. Obviously, I don't remember. I was 2 years old. But yeah, those 2 Peyton Manning wins or what I base my guess off of because Peyton Manning. I remember watching those games. That was a fantastic team.
Let me ask you this: do you remember seeing a highlight where Champ Bailey picks off Tom Brady in the end zone and nearly takes it back for a pick six, but then gets walloped by a dude that did a DK Metcalf before DK Metcalf ran it down Buda Baker, and Champ Bailey just fumbled the ball out of bounds and at the 1 yard line or whatever?
I probably do. For the primary reason was because my dad was a massive Champ Bailey fan. He had a Champ Bailey jersey. My sister did as well. So I guess my family were big Champ Bailey fans. So I probably have seen it for that sheer fact. But yeah, I probably seen it. Champ Bailey, GOAT,
Yeah, maybe ask a family member about it since you may have attended the game. If they remember that
Oh, I'm
moment,
sure.
then
I'm sure.
that proves that you were at the game.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they were at the game.
Yeah.
They saw
Of
that.
course. I'll have to ask. But my trivia time. I think we need to give the fans a break and do something easy. Something just easy. I mean, not too easy, but something that you could get a good guess off of. Because some of our trivia questions in these past, I don't know, few months have been pretty wild. So
Fired.
listen here. Can you name the original 6 NHL teams?
Now I know them off. I know them when I look at a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Of all the teams in the NHL, but I can't name all 6 just off the top of my head.
See, the thing that allows me to remember it is I think of I wouldn't say iconic players, but teams that you would think have been here a while. Obviously, they're the original 6 teams, but more East Coast teams. You wouldn't think hockey in the West, right? You would think more East and Central. So that's how I think of it. Canadian, East, Central. And that's a big hint.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I'll try not to. Obviously, I'll try not to look at a piece of paper and
Oh yes,
look.
we need to hear the authentic guess, like my Denver Broncos guess. Because I swear I did not look it up. I that was my guess. I was very excited to give my guess today. So I'm looking forward to yours.
I saw the emotion. You didn't even think about that 2006 divisional game off the top of your head. You were just going off the 2 AFC championships.
That's why I was so confident. I was like, I witnessed this on TV. I witnessed this.
Yeah, it was just like, what other team has done it? You
Yeah.
know, I mean, obviously, not even the Colts have a winning record.
Oh, the
You
Flake
know,
8.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but that's that. We actually talked about a lot in a very short span of time. We
Perfect.
actually flirted with an hour.
Perfect. Yes, we're currently at 1 hour and 1 right now. That's perfect, honestly. We got all that we needed to say in there in a short amount of time. You love to see it.
Going back to our roots.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ask for anything better right
No.
now, man.
Hey, that's perfect. That's perfect. So, Jotham, same time next week.
Oh yeah, definitely,
Okay.
dude. Especially as we're diving deeper into February and all this and that. But if you guys enjoy Top of the Standings, give us that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or whatever you use to listen to Top of the Standings and watch Top of the Standings. Give us a like, comment, subscribe on YouTube if you're watching there, and then give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The Big Three. This has been episode 28 of Top of the Standings. We're keep churning it out week after week. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.